All right. Hello, investors. I don't know if you can see this, but Justin is with us today. So say hey, Justin.
Good afternoon, everyone. Justin Stewart here.
All right. So we wanted to welcome you to this live update session. This is kind of a big one because we're a week away from the close of the campaign, and we just want to thank you for all of your input thus far and give you an update on how far we've come from the beginning of the campaign until now, and really where the progress has been made. So first, I want to talk about something that I should have talked about last time, but it slipped my mind. And that's we were invited to a conference that's called the Collision Alpha Conference. And this is a unique opportunity because only a few startups are invited to this conference, and it focuses entirely around meeting the biggest investors in the game. And so when we are approaching our Series A investment rounds, which we're hoping to close Q3 of this year, having contacts and rubbing elbows with these high level investors, and when I say this, I'm talking about name brand, Google investors, investors who have invested into Uber, all that jazz. And so it's a huge opportunity, and we are so blessed to have that. And likewise, we have a TED Talk coming up, and that's actually happening February 11th here in State College, Pennsylvania. So bring you up into the cold for that. And the title of the talk is, wow, I'm so sorry. The title of the talk is actually teaching old industries new tricks. And so what we're really discussing is how we are challenging this archaic industry that hasn't really changed a whole lot since the early 1970s. And we're saying, hey, if we implement this 21st century era technology, we can really disrupt this technology in this industry. And that's what it's all about. And speaking of which, that's why I brought Justin on here today. Is I wanted him to talk about all the progress that he's made with the AI and everything like that. So Justin, you want to take it away?
Sure. Thanks very much, Reed. I'm a database expert by trade, and we've made excellent progress with the database design and the artificial intelligence algorithms, which will be digesting the streams of data from our customer devices. And the database design is critical, and the algorithm design is critical that it be of maximum efficiency so that it can handle the bandwidth of the streams that are coming in from our customer base. And we've made excellent progress on that so far. I really am profoundly satisfied with how our synergies between Mead and I are coming together, and we're making excellent progress toward the finished product. We'll be deploying several of our devices, as you know, in the near future, and we'll be processing that data through our algorithms to answer the difficult questions that artificial intelligence forces you to answer. And eventually, the answers to those questions obviously provide decision support information to customer stakeholders. So progress has been profound, and we continue to see the improvements of our day-by-day efforts.
So Justin, here's something that I think should not be minimized. When we're talking about our devices collecting 10 million data points each device every 18 days, your work in making these databases both capable of handling that type of data and being able to analyze it quickly, that's critical. Could you talk about kind of what we're doing to do that?
Absolutely. So these streams of data are coming in from every device, and we have potentially 7 sensors sending data, some of them several data points per second. Those will be coming in through the cellular network and streaming into our centralized cloud system. And it's critical that the database design be perfect, such that the data is all organized intelligently, so that you can answer the questions. It's all the questions you can answer from a database system are all based on the database design.
Mhm.
When it's designed well, a well-designed database is like the concrete foundation upon which you build a structure. And if it's built well, then all your components of that building can be uniform. And it's much easier to get answers out of a database that has been well designed. We'll be leveraging state-of-the-art database technology from a well-known database vendor. And then the key after the database design is built is that the algorithms, the programs that are digesting this data and properly storing it in the database are constructed in such a fashion that you can get answers back out of the system. So artificial intelligence is essentially a computer being able to make decisions, in our case, that typically a human would need to make. So as that data streams in, we have to have programs in place that are going to sift through the data constantly and cull out, that's critical, cull out the unnecessary data. And essentially, without going too deep, we're going to be establishing what I refer to as memories in the data. So when we experience some sort of event, we'll be capturing that as a memory. And over time, as we aggregate more and more data and we establish these, if you will, memories from the past, our software will be built in such a fashion that it understands these past events and can process that information and then present that information to stakeholders in the near term so that human beings can make decisions. But once our software is to the degree that Mead and I are looking to take it, the software will be able to make decisions on its own.
Right. And so that brings, you kind of actually alluded to something that I was going to share today. That brings us to the progress of what we've been doing with the IoT device. So that's the sensors involved here, right? And so one of the big things that we have done is we actually re-engineered the housing, and this is something that I'm really thrilled about because A, it looks cool, but B, there's a lot of benefits into modern technology and what it's capable of. And if you see me looking down, that's because I'm actually bringing up here on my mobile device. And so this is the new device here spinning around. And what's so impressive about the new housing is that it's both robustly engineered, but also so small. So I was talking to Justin about this, how efficient we've been able to make the circuitry. And now the device, people are imagining this big orange box on their pipelines. And no, our device is about that big. And we're just smacking this right onto the pipeline, and all the sensors are external. So it's something that it's not the huge behemoth set on the pipeline like a lot of our competitors. So that's cool. But in addition, we've been doing a whole lot of studies, as you all know, with our experimental partners. And one of the data points that we've actually been able to extrapolate from some of our information is that sonic booms are actually capable of causing pipeline mishaps, and specifically on the valves. So these are the things that are supposed to turn off the pipeline, and that's exactly what you don't want to have fail. So sonic booms, when we think about it, we know of jets causing sonic booms, but legally speaking, there's very few jets that are causing sonic booms over, the United States. But lightning, that's a huge maker of sonic booms that we can't control. Rifle fire even, so hunting. And little stuff like that can cause these valves to fail. And so monitoring for that variable, we're actually adding a seventh variable, as Justin alluded to our analysis. And frankly, we're actually analyzing more than that. But there's 7 factors of analysis. And so it's incredible to be adding that to our solution set. And we've actually discussed this with our experimental partners, and they seem thrilled about it. Um, what else? What else? What else? Battery life has improved. That's another huge thing. So batteries are being fed by solar panels, but the sun's not always shining, so increasing that battery life is huge. We're also sending our device over to UL testing, where we're going for Division One, Class One certification, which effectively means that our devices can be in the most hazardous of environments. So that's good. Um, Other than that, let's talk about the combined effects of both IoT and AI. So we talked to the big data that we're generating, and what we've seen is our devices are reading at roughly 42 times per second for a lot of the variables. Some of those variables we actually have to slow down because it doesn't make sense to be collecting that data that quickly. Um, and so we're generating all this information. I mentioned it before, 10 million data points per device every 18 days. Justin, let's talk about how that big data augments what you're doing with the AI.
Yeah, absolutely. And this goes deeper into what I was discussing earlier, that over time, as we process data, this culling I speak of it's more than just culling, actually. It's coalescing, it's condensing. Um,
Wow.
Vast amounts of data can be coalesced or shrunken into weighted data points effectively. And what that's going to help us to do is minimize, you're thinking to yourself, okay, when we think about storage today, we know storage is cheap. If you go buy a hard drive, you can get a 1 terabyte hard drive. It's fairly inexpensive. That's just a vast amount of storage space. And we're going to be taking in, as our customer base increases and number of devices increases, we're going to be taking in vast volumes of data. And it's critical, as I said, that these algorithms have a mechanism, an intelligent mechanism to cope with these streams of data, all pouring into the same location. So we'll effectively be dividing up data, of course, by customer. Each database will be completely separate and encrypted from the other.
And,
And so we'll have these silos of data. Go ahead.
yeah, no, you brought up something really critical as a security aspect. I know I come from a little bit of a security background. You do as well. Um, and But with that, I thought that your way of storing information was brilliant. So none of the databases actually touch each other, and
Right.
it's ingenious. And so if and that's our way of keeping data secure. If there happens to be, let's say there's a rogue employee at one of our customers or something like that. We I don't want to bring up the news, but with that Hawaii incident, you had a single employee cause an incident. And so let's say something happens, okay? Well, the great thing about how you are designing the databases is that they're all separate. So the only thing that they could touch is their own data.
Yeah, they're completely isolated from one another. That's right. And the architecture, yeah, the architecture and the design of the database in and of itself is secure. We have an algorithm for generating a unique database name. That's something that no one can guess. Databases will be encrypted. All transmissions are encrypted, SSL, and interface to the data is HTTPS secured.
And even the data created on the devices, let's say, you hatch out one of these devices on the pipeline, that's all encrypted anyway. So we're talking about like 5 points of encryption here.
That's right. That's right.
And, yeah, it's nuts. And so basically, we're talking creating big data, then analyzing big data, and it's all about efficiency and how you do that. And with big data, there's an aspect of security to it that you need to be aware of. And I think that we're hitting all of that. And with the progress that we've made in the last, our campaign was 70 days. So our progress in the last 70 days has just been incredible. And with the support of our investors, that's what really drives me is Justin and I made a map of where our investors are from. And it's so cool to see all those countries highlighted. Yeah, international investors, seeing all those countries highlighted and, we brought up a map of the United States, and we have representation in nearly every state of America. And that
Yeah.
is, I mean, we're talking worldwide support here.
Yeah,
And
I want to take this opportunity. If any of you watching, if you listen to me speak for any length of time, you'll know that I love to speak from the heart, and I'll do that now. And Meads and my friendship, passion, and technical capabilities are the spark to the fuel that will propel this organization to the top of the IoT industry, starting with perfecting oil and gas. And the fuel that we're igniting is your support, you investors. And I'll tell you, I can't tell you how excited I am. You have propelled us into orbit, and we are all in to see this thing through to healthy and successful operation. So we're about to undergo some amazing experiences with our accelerator and with the conference that we're going to, Collision. And I just want to make sure that you know how thankful and humbled we are for your support, and we're ready to pour into this thing. I wanted to make sure I said that.
yeah, no, that was excellent. Actually, that leads us into our next point, and that's we actually have a survey that we want our investors to take. And the survey isn't anything invasive. It's nothing like that. It's like 4 questions. Effectively, we want to know when you want these live updates in the future. So as our campaign closes, this doesn't end with the campaign. We want to keep our investors, a part of the Microtech journey from now until, forever. So with that, taking a survey to get more viewers on these live update videos is critical. And so in the link below, I'll do the YouTube thing, right? In the link below, there's you'll see a investor survey link. And with that, what you want to do is just click that. You'll see a thank you message, a description of the survey. Begin survey, and it's just when do you want the next updates, what time of the week, what time of the day, and we're going to move these updates to monthly. Once again, monthly updates as the campaign's ending. And the reason is so that A, we can get some work done, but B, we want to make sure that you guys are involved every step of the way. So once again, in closing, we just want to thank you for everything that you've done for us thus far. And the campaign is not over. Remember to tell your friends, family, coworkers, annoy them with our campaign, right? We want to see the change in energy. We want to clean up the environment. This is all for the greater good. And having y'all as our advocates and our driving factor is critical. So make sure that you talk about Microtech. We're talking about you. So stay involved. Can't thank you enough. Justin?
Thank you. Thanks so much again. Truly humbled and grateful for the opportunity to go on this adventure. And for real, I've seen what we can do already, and we're headed to the top with this thing. And we're dedicated. As I said, the most important thing that you all know is that we're all in. We are all in.
All right. Well, thank you once again. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk next time. Thanks.
Thank you.